Alright everybody, it's been a little too long since I've made one of these kinds of videos on here, and I'm really trying to get back into it, get very consistent with making videos. And with the release and success of Spider-Man Brand New Day, I wanted to cover one of my favorite moments in Spider-Man comics. This was actually when he came forward and released his identity to the public as Spider-Man to show his support for Iron Man and the Superhuman Registration Act going into the Civil War event. This is when he unmasks himself to the world, revealing that he is Peter Parker and he's been Spider-Man since he was 15 years old. Which leads to immediately after the press conference, Peter is, absolutely, he's sick to his stomach, right? He's throwing up. He is extremely anxious at what he just did and what that means for the future. He has always been concerned about his identity being private because he knows if the world knew that he was Spider-Man, his family would never be safe from his enemies. Tony had almost convinced him to go public with his identity, but he still wasn't sure. So he actually talked to MJ and Aunt May about it, and they actually thought it was a good idea, told him he should go public, get that respect that he's always deserved from the public, from the superhero community, and, just kind of show the world what they see in him as well. Tony, the absolute horrible man that he is, especially in this run, and many other runs as well, tries to sympathize with Peter, telling him that, he knows exactly what Peter is going through, that he felt the same anxiety when he came out to the public for the first time as well. Peter shows him that actually he does not know what he's going through because Tony's never had a family to protect. Tony's always kind of been that lone wolf, and sure, he has friends, sure, he has people that he cares about, but it's not the same thing, it really isn't, and I agree. He's never had a close family to be protecting with his secret identity, so he can't really relate to Peter and how he's feeling in this moment. So Peter tells Tony, well, that was true. You didn't have a family to look out for until today. So basically, Peter gives Tony the ultimatum of, all right, if I'm supporting you in this, if I'm foregoing all of my security and privacy, I've worked, 15 years to maintain, to protect my family for you, if I'm doing this for you, then what you have to do for me is assure that MJ and Aunt May will be taken care of by you indefinitely if anything happens to me due to either this upcoming war or from any sort of retaliation from any of his enemies. So essentially, the Parkers are Tony's family now and his responsibility should something happen to Peter because he listened to Tony. He finishes off the conversation with a pretty vague-ish threat, he said, okay, so if something happens to me, you're going to look out for my family. That's just a fact. You have to do that. However, if something happens to my family and I'm okay, you're going to need the protection from me, basically. That's kind of what he's laying down for Tony. And Tony, being himself, not really, I think not really grasping how serious Peter is being right now, is trying to make some jokes, saying, oh, this is the part where you say, oh, I guess you do know what it's like to have a family, Tony. And Peter said, I'm really not in the mood for that shit today, honestly. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, but not today. Leave me alone.